take a minute to really think about what the last thing you failed at was. What did you try that didn't end in an outcome that you really wanted? Was it a job interview, an exam, a conversation? Whatever it was, just have a think about it. Think about how you reacted to it and how it affected you. Did it really get you down and make you feel like you shouldn't have bothered in the first place? Were you embarrassed? Did you feel like you'd let yourself down? Or did you think about the things that didn't go as well as they could have that you can improve on next time? Did you see the failure as an opportunity for growth? Well, that's the difference between a fixed and a growth mindset. If you can learn to channel a growth mindset, then you'll not only be more satisfied with your life as it is now, but you'll also push yourself to achieve more. In this video, I'm going to give you 5 tips on how you can learn to channel a growth mindset to help you in your personal development journey. Hi everyone, I'm Caitlin and welcome to Twig. At Twig, we discuss all things personal development to help you achieve more success but with less stress. If that sounds like something you need help with, then please subscribe to my channel and tap the notification bell to be one of the first to find out when I release my next video. So, Carol Dweck is an American psychologist who first coined the terms fixed mindset and growth mindset. This was after decades of research into what makes some people achieve dazzling success in life whilst other people, well, don't. In her TED Talk with almost 5 million views, I'll link it below, she explains that the difference between a fixed mindset and a growth mindset is that someone with a fixed mindset believes that intelligence is inherent and you have it or you don't. But someone with a growth mindset believes that intelligence is something that can be learned and developed over time. And that core belief gives rise to different behaviours. So for example, when faced with a challenge, someone with a fixed mindset would avoid the challenge for fear of failure. But someone with a growth mindset, on the other hand, would be excited by the challenge and would see it as an opportunity for growth and development. When faced with other people's success, someone with a fixed mindset would be threatened by that and become demotivated, whereas someone with a growth mindset would see that and use it as inspiration to propel themselves even further forward. When their work is given constructive criticism, someone with a fixed mindset would see this as personal criticism and really take this to heart, whereas someone with a growth mindset would understand that it's their work on that particular day that they produced that is being judged and not them as a person. They don't derive their self-worth from their output. They derive their self-worth from their attitude to growth and the willingness to try. People with a fixed mindset have such a deep fear of failure that it means it stops them trying new things. Whereas people with growth mindsets welcome failure because they understand that failure is not final and it presents that opportunity for growth. Ultimately, it all comes down to self-belief. If you genuinely believe that you can develop and grow your intelligence and don't see it as a personality trait but something that can be worked on, then you're well on your way to developing a growth mindset. But I put together 5 tips on how you can push yourself that bit further. So, tip number 1 is to call yourself out. If you learn to identify the hallmarks of a fixed mindset, you can call yourself out on it when you notice it in your own thoughts and behaviour. And doing that will mean that you'll be able to intentionally reframe those thoughts into ones that are typical of a growth mindset. I often have to do this quite a lot when I can see other people's success online or in person and I perceive their success to be greater than my own. Sometimes it can really demotivate me and feel like, well, what's the point in me even trying because I've got so far to go that is there any point in me starting? So you can see how a fixed mindset causes you to self-sabotage. If I let that thought go unchecked, I would never try anything new. I'd literally just be stuck in the same spot for the rest of my life because I'd be so discouraged by everyone else's success that I didn't try and create my own. So what I do when I notice that I'm having these thoughts is to literally just check myself in the moment. I'll tell myself that just because I perceive somebody else's success as greater than my own, that doesn't mean that I can't achieve it too. And if anything, it's evidence that what I want is achievable because someone else has already done it. Other people's success is not a threat to my own success. The more you do this, the easier it gets. It can sometimes help to keep a journal. So when you notice fixed mindset thinking, just jot down what your original thought was and then intentionally reframe that into a growth mindset way of thinking. Physically correcting yourself by writing things down solidifies it even more in your mind. Friday's video is going to be all about journaling for improved mental health. So stay tuned for that if you think it'll be of any use to you. Tip number 2, do your own research on fixed and growth mindsets. There's so much theory behind these two mindsets that I just cannot cover in this short video. The more you know about them and the more you understand the differences between them, the easier it'll be to identify fixed mindset thinking in yourself. You'll be able to call yourself out more easily. So I'd recommend Carol Dweck's book Mindset as a great starting point for this. As I said earlier, Carol Dweck is the psychologist that coined these two terms and did a lot of the initial research. I've linked the book in the description box below if you want to have a look at that. I've also linked a couple of articles for you to have a read in case you don't want to commit to a book straight away. Tip number 3, surround yourself with people with a growth mindset. As you learn more about fixed and growth mindsets, you'll be able to identify those traits in other people. The people that you surround yourself with influence your mindset so much. So if possible, try and distance yourself from people who exhibit the qualities of a fixed mindset and that just don't have the willingness to grow. And make sure you foster relationships with people that exhibit the qualities of a growth mindset. If it's difficult to make changes to your current circle, which sometimes it can be, find yourself a new circle that you can split your time between. That can even take the shape of an online community like Twig. So seek these out because you really become what you surround yourself with, good or bad. Just take a minute to really let that sink in. Number 4, understand that changing your mindset is a process. Fixed and growth mindsets are extremes on either end of a long spectrum, and because of that, the perfect growth mindset just doesn't exist. You'll move around on the spectrum, but with time and effort, you can push yourself towards the growth mindset side of the spectrum. But there will always be room for improvement, depending on your situation, your mood, and the people that you surround yourself with, as mentioned in the previous tip. You'll move backwards and forwards from day to day along the spectrum. So just don't beat yourself up when you notice fixed mindset traits within yourself, because they will always be there. And what the main thing is that you have identified that. The fact that you've noticed them is a good thing because now you can work on them. Changing your mindset is a massive feat. It doesn't happen overnight and it requires consistency and effort. So go easy on yourself. Tip number 5, try and fail. A way to speed up the process of changing your mindset is by forcing yourself into situations where you try something new and fail and try and fail again. If you can repeatedly fail at something, you're creating opportunities for yourself to reshape the way that you see failure. Some examples of this could be learning to play an instrument, taking up a new sport, learning a language, or learning a new skill in general like painting or writing. The more that you create evidence in your environment that you are capable of growing and developing and recovering from failure and falling down and getting back up, the quicker you're going to develop that growth mindset. Growth mindsets have been scientifically proven time and time again to improve satisfaction and happiness within your life. There is a reason that some people achieve great success and some people just don't. And part of that is your mindset. I really hope you found today's video useful. If you did, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel. Please let me know in the comments how you're planning to channel a growth mindset, and share your tips with everyone else to help us all out, because I really want Twig to become this community of like-minded people that help each other develop and grow. If you'd like me to go into any more detail about any of the points that I've discussed today, then just let me know. As I mentioned before, Friday's video is going to be on journaling. I'm going to talk about my journaling routine and how you might be able to incorporate journaling into your life if you don't already do it. So if that sounds like something you're going to be interested in, make sure you tap the notification bell to be one of the first to find out when that video goes live. As mentioned in my previous videos, I've got a website in the works, so it's www.twig.club. That will be a place for extra content in between videos from me. It's still a work in progress at the moment, but if you go onto the homepage, the link is in the description below, and input your email address and name, you'll be the first to find out when that website is up and running. So thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you on Friday.